What's up, guys? I don't even know where to look. Got a camera there, got a camera there. I got Logic running over there. I got my mic right here, making sure my audio's running on here. What's up, guys? Today's Wednesday, and I want Wednesdays to be production tutorials. On Thursday, I'm gonna do mixing tutorials, so we're gonna be in the box. On Tuesdays, I wanna do songwriting tutorials, like I released one yesterday. You should check out. Dominant to the tonic. Today's production tutorial is going to have to do with vocal production. I figured I'd kind of show what my little vocal booth, DIY vocal booth setup is. So we're going to switch to the iPhone camera, and I'm going to show you what I use and why I configure it the way that I do. I guess the most obvious things to note are these white things back here. These are just absorption panels that I bought from GIK Acoustics. I have this SE Reflexion filter. I have this boom stand Ultimate. This is just AKG 414. I've talked about it in my condenser and dynamic microphone video. And then up here I just have this super ghetto, just a little absorption, Auralex absorption. I'll show you the preamps that I use. So this is the Neve 1073 stereo, and then this is the 2610 by Universal Audio. And so I just switch between the two over here on the patch bay. So this changes which preamp I'm feeding signal to, and then it goes to the preamp. The preamp then sends it back to the patch bay down here, and then that's hardwired into my ensemble, which is the converter that I use. So let's talk about why I use what I use. I've talked about it before, but sound travels spherically, and sound is traveling from my mouth going all different directions: behind me, in front of me, above me, below me, to the sides of me. Point of all of this is to get as dry of a vocal as possible. It's to keep all the reflections from around the room from getting back into the microphone. And as I stand here versus right here, it's insane the level, how dry things get right here. It's nuts. I don't know if this microphone's gonna pick it up, but you could tell the room ambiance right here. And when I come over right here, it's super dead because none of the reflections are getting back. Let's talk about how that's happening. The first thing we're going to start with is this reflection filter. What this does is when I'm speaking into the microphone, it's going to absorb the sound waves coming out of my mouth like this. But it doesn't absorb the stuff coming up here, it doesn't absorb the stuff coming up here, and it doesn't absorb this stuff up here and here. So there's a lot of areas that it's not covering. And so the sound waves that it's not covering are bouncing around in the room, but they're still going to come back. And this is going to keep them from bleeding back into the microphone. Now, depending on what setting you have your microphone on, I have it on the cardioid, and that's really the only thing that makes sense because I'm just trying to pick up from this direction. The mic is going to do its own rejection off the back end, but a cardioid pattern isn't perfect. It still picks up a little bit from behind the microphone because of the mechanics and the mathematics behind it. So it still picks up a little bit, but this protects so much from coming back into the backside of the microphone. But as I just said, this is doing a lot for sound coming back this way and blocking it from getting back in the microphone. But the microphone isn't picking that much up from the back of the microphone. Obviously, it's picking up from this way. So what do you really have to worry about? What's a huge worry? Obviously, sound coming this way into the microphone where it's most sensitive. That's where these guys come in. So sound is traveling behind me as well. It's going to bounce off in the back side of the room, and my body is going to absorb some of it on the way back. But this is going to absorb a lot more. So sound is going to go from behind me. This is going to absorb it. The sound is going to travel through the air back here. And air is a great absorber itself. It's going to bounce around in the back of the room, and it's going to come back. It's going to hit this again. And so by the time it comes back over here, there's going to be no reflection. I mean, minimal reflection. And so if we think about it, we're protected from the front this way. We're protected from the back with these guys. And we're also protected a little bit on the side with these guys. And we're protected on the side with this as well. But the microphone in the cardioid setting is going to be pretty good at off-axis rejection. Now I'm going to pull out my phone again, and we're going to look at the little absorption foam that I have above me. You could see here, if I get the right angle, this is off the ceiling just a little bit. Now the reason why that is because sound is going to travel from my voice right here up is going to hit the diffusion foam, and then it's going to travel through air before it hits the ceiling. And again, as I said earlier, air is an absorber. It's going to hit the ceiling, and they'll come back down through the air. They'll hit the backside of this absorption foam, and so by the time it gets back, all that sound traveling up and then down is going to be very well either diffused or even more so absorbed. So the whole point of this is just to make it so that the only thing this microphone picks up is the sound coming from here to there. Now, it's not going to be perfect, obviously, but we're doing the best we can with those absorption panels, with the acoustic foam serving as kind of a cloud absorber, with the reflection filter. All of these things are working together to keep the sound that's bouncing around in the room, to keep that from getting back into this microphone. Sorry if that made you a little sick there.
My house in Budapest, my hidden treasure chest, golden grand piano, my beautiful Castillo, you, I leave it all. My house in Budapest, my hidden treasure chest, golden grand piano, my beautiful Castillo, you, I leave it all. My house in Budapest, my hidden treasure chest, golden grand piano, my beautiful Castillo, you, I leave it all. My house in Budapest, my hidden treasure chest, golden grand piano, my beautiful Castillo, you, I leave it all. My house in Budapest, my hidden treasure chest, golden grand piano, my beautiful Castillo, you, I leave it all. My house in Budapest, my hidden treasure chest, golden grand piano, my beautiful Castillo, you, I leave it all.
Oh yeah. So obviously the point of all of this is to get a dry vocal, and a dry vocal is a vocal that's not wet. And it would be wet if all the reflections of the room were splashing back into the microphone, and we're trying to prevent all those splashes. We just want the dry vocal, the vocal that comes from my lips, or my vocal cords, I guess, into the microphone. Why is that? Well, this room sounds like asshole, and so I don't want the asshole sounding room tainting the vocal and making the vocal sound like asshole. Okay, it's the same idea when mixing. You don't want the room to affect what you're hearing when you're mixing. Well, you don't want the room to affect what the microphone is picking up. But until next time, actually I'll see you next time is tomorrow. So until tomorrow. Awesome.
Peace.